Today we have brought a new ghost story. Without talking too much about mine incident, I still remember the day when a lovely little family came to live in the flat next to my flat in South Goa. Praveen and his wife Meena, and Praveen's mother Gorakant, and their 2 children, a beautiful little boy who was only 1.5 or 2 years old named Praveen, and a beautiful 5-year-old daughter as delicate as a flower, whom everyone affectionately called Ruhi. The year 2003. Within a few months of coming to the flat, I got a job offer for my profession in civil engineering in Saudi Arabia. In fact, I had 2 sons of my own, Riaz and Ibrahim. Had a daughter, but she didn't have one, so I also fell in love with Ruhi, a beautiful girl, in that 1 month, and Ruhi was almost Ibrahim's age, so often when I talked to Regina in the forest, I would at least inquire about Ruhi. Rosina also loved Ruhi. I got to know from Regina whenever Praveen and Meena and Gauri auntie came out of the building with their children, or how all the people in the flat would look at them like their children would play in the park in the afternoon without talking to anyone, but our family is small like them. Rosina gradually becomes friends with Meena through words. Meena comes to know that Rosina is a teacher by profession, and Ruhi, as she attends their school with Ibrahim, asks her to take care of her studies. Rosina is very happy that they're good friends, but the girls are family matters. Rosina used to avoid them, but due to friendship Rosina sometimes went to hang out, and as a result one thing came to her attention. By looking at the digital, I don't know why the girls didn't let Ruhi play with Robin more. A year passed without seeing each other. One day Rosina heard what she said in a panicked voice and was shocked with fear. All the hair on her body stood on end. Meena was killed in front of me. I am very scared. You should come quickly, doll, so there is talk of murder. Rosina's phone was cut 2 days after that. I managed some kind of vacation. Even then the investigation could not be completed. Rosina first saw the murder and informed the secretary of the society, who informed the police. The most surprising thing was that both Praveen and Meena were inside the house when the murder took place, and the door was locked from inside, so luckily they survived, but the eyewitness gave her testimony. Yes, but the problem is that the police did not believe what she told the police. After I knew her husband, a policeman suggested Rosina to take her to a bicycle ticket, and she was saying that she is not in the right mind. And Robin was at our house. Ruhi might not have been able to bear it all. She became like a stone. She was not talking to anyone. Rosina's panic was still not over. So I didn't ask her anything more for a few days. They stopped trying with the explanation of attacking each other and killing each other. Returning home, I came to know that 15 days ago Chachi fell down the stairs of the flat and lost her memory balance. Rosina took a deep breath and began to tell me what happened. That afternoon I was playing in the garden with the children. Ruhi took a very beautiful doll and started showing it to me. Look, this is my new doll. But it was kept in a box in the room. Today I secretly took it out and brought it here. Little Maya said Rahim in her voice. The doll looks really beautiful. It looks like a little red frock. As soon as I take the doll from my hand, I feel something strange. I can't understand what it is. Waiting for it to be normal, I started talking to the spirit, asking me to speak. Looking at the hot doll, the eyelids of the hot doll are blinking. Then I looked at the doll and said to myself, "Are you crazy, or the words of your heart?" It wasn't over before he was startled by an unusual voice full of mouth. It increased several times. "Auntie, what happened? My doll you don't like? Why are you looking at her like this? Why are you looking at her like this?" Almost snatching her doll. Kashwar said Ruchi as she snatched the doll. Kari got a little scared seeing her like this. After a few moments, I thought that this was my illusion and blew it away. Ruhi hurt me with her hand and asked the doll, "It is very beautiful, just like you, sweet. What is it?" And that familiar little Maya says in a loud voice that it was bought by Mum, and then Ruhi left before saying anything else. I was taken in my arms, and I was surprised to see that the doll looked at me again with twinkling eyes and smiled. The next day, while going to the market, I met Gauri and asked her how many afternoons Ruhi had behaved like that. Chachi says, "Oh, my granddaughter is very Robin's daughter, but not Meena's child. He is Praveen and his first wife Chanchala's child." About 3.5 years ago, on Ru's birthday, the 3 of them went for a walk with money to a diamond, and while taking photos, Chanchala accidentally slipped and fell into the ditch. The bed was so far from her body. It was not possible to find Ruhi. She was very interested in the matter. She was crying all the time that she would go to her mother. Finally, I insisted Praveen to get married so that if she gets a new mother, Ruhi might become normal again. As soon as he asked, the poor man's face suddenly changed. He stopped and said in a horrible voice, "Where is the doll? How do you know about the doll?" I was also shocked by the demonic words. Then I got hold of myself and told Auntie, "Yesterday Ruhi brought the doll and showed it to me in the garden." He started saying in his voice he had bought Ruhi since her mother died. Ruby used to sleep with me one night. The sound of chirping woke me up. No language was coming out of my mouth. I went to the house and in the dim light I saw Rafik sitting and talking to someone, pressing his feet. I noticed Ruat sitting and talking to the doll, and the incredible bone-shaking horror was that this doll was also talking to Ruby, smiling. "I am talking to you. I say you won't tell anyone." Ruhi and Pratya say, "Don't tell anyone, you just stay with me," says Rohita. Hugs the doll. I scream and fall on the floor and faint. I will regain consciousness. Ruhi is standing at a distance holding the doll and looking at me. Telling them the whole incident, they dismiss it as a mistake in my mind. After a few days, Ruhi started behaving strangely. "What's going on?" Abhi has been getting complaints from his school for a few days, walking on the cornice of the school roof. The level of complaint increases gradually. Years pass, the doll does not notice any abnormalities, but the madness is increasing. One day, when your 5-month-old younger brother Robin was sleeping in the swing, you suddenly threw the doll out of the swing and played a game of lulling him to sleep, singing strange sounds. Scolding Meena and Ruhi even as the girl was carrying the doll all the time. Meena snatched the doll from her hand and tore it into pieces. Thus some more days passed, and so some more days passed. Wakes up and goes to the balcony and sees him sitting there and calls him. After playing for a long time, suddenly we all wake up with a loud scream. Everyone comes out and is shocked to see the scene. The doll's eyes are burning like red fire. Meera is running with Ruhi all over the balcony with small legs. Screaming in a trembling voice, I tore the doll into pieces and threw it away. Then it got up and walked. It was possible. Meena could not finish the words. The doll spoke in a corky voice. Goes home with Ruhi. They run and close the balcony door in fear. We Praveen say in panic voice, "What was it? Must have been after some girl. Only Praveen is because of this girl. If anything happens to my son, then this girl." Screams in fear before Meena. Praveen hears Meena. Said, "You won't do anything on your words." I pressed Chancellor to see my eyes. This said. Then he said the next day he will bring some tantric and will fix everything. Sleeping there is nothing in the balcony that night, as if nothing had happened. Some rituals. Closed the doll in a box. Care tied a red thread on it and kept it in our storeroom, and said that he had captured this spirit, but whose spirit it was he did not know. Then she left with the salary. Then Praveen looked for a new house and found it in this flat. We moved here, but I don't understand how the doll came here and stopped introducing it. It's week passed and nothing happened, but Ruhia never came out to play, and naturally no one in their house saw me. One day, we bought some things and we got up to write. Suddenly I saw that doll while writing. There was no one but me. I couldn't even scream in panic. The voice didn't come out. The doll said in the finisher, "Don't be afraid, I won't hurt you. I appreciate you so much. You keep Ruhi and Robin with you in the future. Do you know when the time will come and you will know by digging the darkness?" Then he passed out. Suddenly he slipped and got hurt badly. One day, he regained consciousness on the screen and started behaving again. He lost his memory. He was sent. As I already knew that Meena did. Not like Ruhi that much. From that day onwards I brought Ruhi to me until the situation became normal. The problem flower will come with her, so I warned Ibrahim and Riaz that no evil girl should misbehave with the doll, but they didn't know that the doll was not sleeping at all at night. Ruhi was sleeping next to me. In this way, a few days were very uncomfortable. I don't know why the two boys didn't get along with Ruhi like before. I don't know how long it was that night. Suddenly, someone caught me in a trap that opened and went out. I went out and I was surprised. I was surprised by the sound of the main gate opening. Ruhi opened the door of the flat by heart. Ruhi screamed loudly before reaching the open door. Runs away and immediately hugs and grabs the face. The puppet spins around Meena and Praveen very scared and wants to scream. "Is there any sound coming out of your mouth?" Fly in the air and fall on the table near Ray. Mina jumps up and runs to catch him. The puppet roars along with it. An invisible hand came towards him as if he grabbed Mina by the throat and lifted him up in the space of the moment and threw him to the bed. It was as if a storm was blowing in the whole house, but outside the flat, his chest was cut open and the blood was sucked out. I couldn't get up. I was in a room, my whole body was wet with sweat, and I saw the puppet roaring one by one, tearing the broken glass pieces one by one. Then the old man started to beat Corona with a smile and took revenge in his mind. One day, I changed Chancellor today and threw Choda from the mountain in a conspiracy saying that he cracked the old man's chest with a big piece of glass and immediately spat blood with his pinky. Wets the doll's little face and moans one last time. The body turns toward Miller, screams and goes to apologize before the doll chews hard and cuts the piece of work in her throat. The cry is stopped. Roshi is old and no longer in this world. Died fresh blood stained. The doll walks towards us one step at a time and introduces herself, and Rosina pauses as someone tells the story of the elder killing and something about her mother-in-law. But one thing made me and Rosina wonder how she went to her room that night and told the elders. Why did the door of the flat close from the inside? In the morning, Jera kept herself in her bed. At first, she thought that maybe she was having a dream at night. Because no relatives of the elder looked after the two middle children, we adopted the two children through administrative procedures. After that, I could not get back to Saudi Arabia. I called them on the phone every day. Rohit, long ride, I want to go out. Rosina wakes up talking. 2010 Ruhi Ibrahim. They were studying in high school and college. One day Ibrahim came home and told that some boys are teasing Ruhi a lot. He complained to the principal, but the boys are lying dead in the bathroom. They are lying badly killed, but it is not known who killed them. Meanwhile, seeing the small red hands pressing on them, it seems like the hands of a doll. I am saying goodbye like today. Inshallah, I will see you again in another episode. Until then, keep listening to Nighttime Horror Story. Stay well, stay healthy. Thank you.